You know, it's kind of funny how time changes everything. Some games age poorly, some become cult classics, and then there's Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days, a game that people either fondly remember or act like it was a war crime. But here's the thing, I actually love this game. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Oh boy, here comes another Kingdom Hearts apologist, but hear me out. 358 over 2 days isn't a perfect game by any stretch of the imagination, but it's also not the disgrace a lot of people make it out to be. In fact, I go as far as to say it deserves an apology. So here's my story. Back in my high school days, I wasn't gaming a whole lot. I was more focused on friends, grades, and figuring life out. But there was one series that can always reel me back in no matter what: Kingdom Hearts. When I saw the commercial for 358 over 2 days, I remember just being blown away. This wasn't Kingdom Hearts 3, which crazy enough came out almost a whole decade after this game. But the idea of playing as Roxas and the rest of the Organization 13, yeah, I was sold. And then they dropped the bombshell: multiplayer. You could actually play alongside your friends using the organization members. Teenage me was convinced this was going to be the coolest thing ever. Day one, I convinced my brothers to all pick up a copy, and after about a week, everyone dropped it. Everyone except me. Because me, I was hooked. The story, the characters, the music, the mission-based gameplay, I was eating it all up. 358 over 2 days ended up being one of those games that just stuck with me. I walked away from it back then completely satisfied. Fast forward to today and I'm here running this little YouTube channel with my Deserves an Apology series. The whole point of it is to look back at games that got trashed or misunderstood and ask, hey, was it really that bad? I've already done Kingdom Hearts 3 and Chain of Memories, and after revisiting 358 over 2 days, well yeah, the title kinda gives it away. I still think it's a good game, maybe even a great one if you meet it halfway. So let's talk about why Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days deserves that second chance. Let's start with the presentation, because for a Nintendo DS game, man, Square Enix was cooking. The visuals? For a handheld from 2009, this thing looks phenomenal. The models are surprisingly detailed, the environments are varied enough, and those cutscenes, some of the best pre-rendered scenes you can get on a DS. They even managed to squeeze in fully voiced scenes, and it somehow didn't make your DS catch fire. Sure, it's not as clean as the PS2 entries, but when you consider the hardware, you gotta respect the effort. Square really pushes little cartridge to its limits. Now the music, come on. It's Kingdom Hearts. Yoko Shimomura's soundtrack still hits like a ton of bricks wrapped in nostalgia. Yeah, they reuse a lot of tracks from KH2, but honestly, I'm not complaining. When you got bangers like The Other Promise or Vector to the Heavens, it's not exactly a downgrade. And Vector to the Heavens specifically, that track lives rent-free in my brain to this day. It's one of those songs that just hurts in the best way possible. Alright, so here's where people usually start having gripes with the game: the mission-based structure. Yeah, I get it. It's not the most exciting setup. You go on missions, complete objectives, clock out, rinse and repeat. It's not as seamless or as grand as the console titles. But let's be real, this was a handheld game designed for short sessions. I genuinely think Square wanted us to play in intervals. Me, I kinda steamrolled through this game for the video, and I'll admit, it can get repetitive when you binge it. But if you pace yourself, the structure actually makes sense. It fits the story's tone. The daily grind of being in Organization 13, the monotony of missions, and Roxas slowly realizing the emptiness of it all. It's a gameplay system that reflects the narrative, and that's something I really respect. Then there's the panel system, the game's way of handling leveling abilities and equipment. I won't lie, it's a bit clunky at first. It feels more like Tetris than RPG progression. But once it clicks, it's actually kind of addicting. You get to slot in abilities, upgrades, and even level panels to customize Roxas however you want. It's not as intuitive as the console games, but it gives you this weird sense of ownership over your build. It's like, this is my Roxas, the one who dual wields keyblades and eats ice cream like a champion. And then there's the story. Honestly, this is where 358 over 2 days shines the brightest. It's a tragic, emotional prequel that gives real depth to Roxas, Axel, and Xion. Watching their friendship grow and fall apart is heartbreaking, especially if you already played Kingdom Hearts 2 and know how it all ends. It's like watching a car crash in slow motion, but with sea salt ice cream and anime hair. The game takes its time to explore what it means to exist, to have a heart, to matter. For a DS game, that's some heavy stuff, and I think that's why it resonated so much with me back then, and still does now. Of course, I'm not blind to its flaws. The mission structure can drag, some worlds are reused way too often, and the camera, well, it's a DS camera. It does what it can. The multiplayer, while a cool idea, didn't exactly have the long legs I hoped for either, but I still appreciate it for trying something ambitious for the time. At the end of the day, this was a handheld side story that still managed to tell one of the most emotional arcs in the entire series. That's no small feat. So yeah, Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days isn't perfect. It's got its quirks, its flaws, and a gameplay loop that might not click for everyone, but to me, it's a game with heart, a game that dares to be quiet, somber, and human. It deserves way more love than it got. And maybe, just maybe, it deserves an apology. I know defending every polarizing Kingdom Hearts game might make me sound like the biggest mega fan on YouTube, but like I said before, I truly don't think there's a bad Kingdom Hearts game. Some are mid, some are masterpieces, but none of them are without heart. Anyway, what do you think? Do you think 358 over 2 days deserves an apology? Or do you think it's one of the weaker entries in the series? Let me know down below. Thank you guys for watching. I love you all very much, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.